Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name is LJ and you're watching NoClutch Garage. Today we're actually in my garage and I have my little car right here. We're actually going to be doing a lot of things today that I'm going to be splitting up into several videos just because it is going to be a lot of things, but we're going to go ahead and do a wheel stud conversion for this particular video, and it should honestly be very straightforward. I'm going to show you how to do it on one wheel, and I'm only doing that because it's the same process for all of the wheels, and I'm going to show you why I made some of the decisions that I made. I'm going to talk through it and tell you like why I'm doing it. It actually is a very simple explanation, but I want to show you guys right now the kit that I went with. So right here I have the Motorsport Hardware kit. These are the studs. These are actually 75 millimeters, so they're a little bit shorter than the standard 78. And the reason why I didn't care if I got the 75s, for one, they were telling me that if I was going to wait for the 78s, it was going to be another 3 weeks out, and I didn't really want to wait that long. Another reason why I was okay with it is because I don't really use spacers, so these will fit fine. And then of course here we have the race nuts, and you can see right there, Motorsport Hardware, 14 by 1.25. We're gonna go ahead and put this kit on the car and we're gonna see what that looks like. Right now I actually really like how my wheels look, and I actually like the overall look of my car. I think it looks really good, and I think those nuts are really gonna make it stand out a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get to it. This procedure is really simple. Just gotta take off the wheel, gotta take off the lugs, of course, and then I'll show you guys what to do to put those studs on and make sure that they're on there properly. Now you can do this with or without a lift. I have a lift in this garage, so I'm gonna be using the lift, but you can also put the car on a jack and jack stance and get it accomplished the same way, as long as you are able to take off the wheel and prop the car safely. Then you should be good to go. So let's go ahead and lift the car. So right now what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna close the garage door because I hear a whole bunch of croaking from the frogs down there, and you guys know how I feel about nature. Fucking bird. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you, we need a few things for this job. We're gonna need our breaker bar or cross. We're gonna need a torque wrench, a regular ratchet. Well, if you have a torque wrench, you don't really need the regular ratchet. I don't know why I put it here. Yeah, torque wrench. If you don't have a torque wrench, then use a regular ratchet, but you're gonna have to be really careful about torquing these guys down. And then we have our studs, we have our nuts, and back here we have our Loctite. Now this kit calls for blue Loctite, right? But I'm gonna give you a reason why I'm using the red Loctite, and I will touch up on that when we get to that part. But this is essentially all we need, and of course this kit comes with some instructions, so we're gonna go and follow the instructions. Alright, so obviously the first thing we want to do is take off this wheel. And guys, to take off the wheels, we're going to need a 17 millimeter socket to take those out. Now if you have a cross like this, it has several measurements. Just make sure that you get the 17 millimeter, and it's right here. So we're going to go ahead and get these bad boys out. Now we can get to the good stuff. So if your threads look dirty, you can definitely clean them out, and actually I recommend that you do clean them out if you have some kind of thread cleaner to go in there and just clean these guys out. These are pretty clean. I had just cleaned them out not too long ago, actually, when we did the rotors. I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna take our stud. Like I said, this is very simple. Before we even put them in here, we're gonna get some of this Loctite. And I'm gonna use red Loctite, and I'll tell you why. I have no plans on going back to the lugs, so as far as I'm concerned, this is what I'm gonna be using. And it's also high strength, so it's also good with heat, and we all know that these hubs, the rotors get hot and everything around here gets really hot, so I want to ensure that these aren't going to be flying out. So we're just going to put a little dab of it on, not a whole lot. If you put too much, then it's going to be really hard for you to take these off, because this really does seal really well. I need something to cut this. We're gonna put a little dab, and then we're gonna insert it. And like I said, we're gonna grab this, and we're just gonna put a little dab right there. That's it. That's all we need. Just a little drop. Now we take these and as it threads in, it's gonna disperse that Loctite all throughout threads. So now that it's in there, we want to put these in by hand first. This is a number 5 Allen. Now I have it on here as a kind of like a socket because it's attached to my torque wrench. Now for these studs, these are the black studs. For Motorsport Hardware, these are known as the race studs. They're a little bit more sturdy and made for racing. There are also some silver ones, and those are a little bit softer. But these race studs call for 25 pound-feet of torque when you're torquing them down. So you're gonna take your torque wrench and you're gonna set it to 25 pound-feet. So now we insert it, and we're gonna turn it. Until it clicks at 25 pound-feet of torque. There she goes. Once you hear that click, that's where you stop. Okay, now you have that first stud on there. So we're gonna repeat the process for all of them. And I'm gonna show this as a time-lapse video just so that you can see everything, but that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do the rest. Alright guys, so I let the thread lock sit for a little while, and not that you need to, but I just did. I had some other stuff to do. But now what we need to do is just put the tire back, or the wheel back on here, and you're gonna see immediately just how much easier it is to put these wheels back on. No more having to hold it on the hub or anything. They just, you know, you can just let them go and they'll be right there. And so now we just take our nuts and start tightening them. And obviously when you're tightening these, you want to do the pattern where you skip every other lug. So we're gonna go here, 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 and then here. In the instructions, they say that the studs are long enough to do at least 7 full turns when tightening. And of course we want to have a proper torque wrench for this. I don't have a torque wrench long enough for this, so I'm just gonna tighten them the best I can and then later torque them. Maybe once I go to EuroMpire, if they let me borrow a torque wrench. But the 14 by 1.25 call for 105 pound-feet of torque. So generally you want about 100 pound-feet of torque anyway, but I guess this is just a little bit more. And don't use an impact gun, or you know, whether it's electric or pneumatic, don't do that. You actually run the risk of damaging these nuts. So we want to do everything by hand and with a torque wrench. So I have here again my crossbar, and we're just gonna tighten it. If you're using a crossbar, try not to touch the edges. I just noticed that this is actually rubbing off the paint at the tips, and I really don't like that. I might have to go over that with some spray paint or something. Try to stay off these edges because the paint seems to be rubbing off pretty easily. Here's a closer view at what they look like. I actually think they look really nice. So now I just gotta wait and put all the other ones on, and we'll get one last view at how this looks. But so far I'm really digging the look. I didn't think I was actually gonna like them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other wheels, get those done on the other side, and I will show you guys the final product. Alright guys, so I want to show you what these look like. Excuse my car being dirty. It was really clean the other day, but it looks really good. I'm actually really happy with the results. I'm gonna take it for a spin, and I'm gonna report back if I notice any difference. I shouldn't notice any difference. If everything is good, there shouldn't be any difference at all. So I'm gonna take it for a spin, and I'm gonna close out the video telling you if I noticed any difference, if not, and then yeah, I'll give you my final thoughts. Hey guys, what's going on? So it's been a couple of days now since I installed that stud kit, and honestly the car just feels just the same, and that's a good thing. Obviously with our wheels, you know, needing to be hub centric, that's a big deal. Yeah, I mean, there's really no different. The stud kit works as intended. I just wanted to test them, you know, and drive for a little bit, see if I noticed any difference. There's really no difference at all. I think the biggest difference we're gonna notice is when I need to take the wheels off and do like a tire change or a wheel change or whatever. And that's really what the stud kit is about. It's just having the ease of being able to take the nuts off and just being able to pull the wheel out and pop another one right back in without having to worry about holding it in place and trying to put a lug in and stuff. You know, that stuff can get complicated, and it's really inconvenient. I personally didn't mind it just because, I mean, I work on my car all the time, just doing random shit. But I know there are a lot of people out there that don't want to be inconvenienced by this. Well, for the people that actually work on their cars, you know, people that just buy these cars just to drive them and take them to a dealership, they're not really ever going to benefit from this, aside from maybe, you know, putting the kit on to make it look better. I did want to note, I did get the black studs, which are the race studs, because they are stronger and because I will be doing some racing with this car. I guess that's something important to note. But other than that, there's not really a difference. But if you guys like this video, go ahead and click like, go ahead and subscribe. I have more DIYs coming for more things for the car. Obviously, I'm nowhere near done with it. Anyway, a small update to my car, a small update to this video, and just how it rides. And I hope you guys liked it. And I will see you guys next video.